Toddler beauty pageants have been the target of recent controversies amid claims they instill inappropriate and potentially harmful attitudes in the child competitors. With one young girl recently dressed in Julia Roberts' streetwalker costume from Pretty Woman and another as a buxom Dolly Parton, it seems as though the purity and innocence of childhood is something we as a society no longer value. But fast-tracking children into the adult world is in fact nothing new. Lime Champions will now take a look back at other similar controversies in this special report. The Pretty Woman outfit was not the first such case to hit the headlines. In 2004, the Woodtree Lakes Preschool decided, for its Christmas pageant, to perform not only the birth of Jesus in the manger, but also a scene from later in Jesus' life, where he is tempted by the whore Mary Magdalene. According to outraged parents at the time, it wasn't so much the scene itself that was the problem, but that the preschool teachers had decided to use a Barry White song as the soundtrack to the scene.
This night, we're gonna get it on.
In a similar vein, the 2006 South Westport Primary School came under fire for their annual school play. Eschewing traditional school productions like Jack and the Beanstalk or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the school staged a violent and profanity-laden adaptation of Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, which was described by one audience member as brutally uncompromising and unflinching.
Haha, you're a funny guy.
Funny? Funny how?
You're just funny.
How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me!
Get the fuck out of here.
Perhaps one of the more intriguing cases of children performing adult acts occurred at the Barron Hills Community Centre in Melbourne's Outer East. As part of the school holiday program run for the 6 to 8-year-old children, one of the activities organised was a beer brewing scheme. The initial anger parents felt over this was lessened somewhat when they tasted their child's product and discovered that they were all of an outstanding quality for a home brew. Many parents spoke of feeling proud when hearing their child speak so authoritatively about their brew, as this recording from the tasting and judging night demonstrates.
My name is Lucky and my beer is a Pilsner. It's got slight grassy sweet taste to it and it's got a dry, bitter aftertaste to it which is typical of a Pilsner.
I'm Annabelle and I brewed stout and I made it from bullion hops, and it's not the sort of drink you would glug.
We're all familiar with the stereotype of the pushy showbiz parent. But how many of us are aware of the growing phenomenon of finger-painting parents? Parents, desperate for their child to excel in the increasingly competitive finger-painting activities at preschools, are being blamed for the spike in numbers of 3- and 4-year-olds seeking treatment for stress and exhaustion. Toorak couple Gordon and Lynette Gonzalez hit headlines last year after their 4-year-old daughter Jessica experienced hair loss and developed a stomach ulcer due to the stress of trying to meet finger-painting targets and satisfying the somewhat unattainable KPIs placed on her by both her overbearing parents and the finger-painting consultant they had hired. But for the most extreme example of children being forced to assume the pressures of adult life, we have to go back to the 1950s. It was the height of Cold War paranoia, and under the codename Project Tippy Toe, hundreds of Australian infants were recruited and trained as bomb diffusion soldiers. The smaller, lighter bodies of children were less likely to detonate bombs.
Yeah, I was a bomb baby. I don't hold it against my parents for volunteering me for Project Tippy Toe. It was a different time. They really believed they were doing something for the good of the country, and I think they were. I'm proud of the fact I spent my terrible twos serving my country in Korea, although I lost a lot of buddies there.
Libby Gott, Lime Champions.